day started early in the morning when we all met each other at Nara station. However, before going anywhere, we decided to stop by the nearby Nara City Tourist Information Center to see if we could find anything interesting about our destination, Yagyu. After having a look through the free booklets and discussing places to visit, we took a few before heading out to pick up our rental car. After filling out the necessary paperwork, soon enough we had our car for the trip, which we immediately went to park. After all, we wanted to tour around the local area of Naramachi first, but not before trying our hand at folding an origami deer. Next, we took a walk around the neighborhood and checked out any stores we found interesting.
It's a baby deer.
Just before leaving Nara, however, we made sure to see the local mascots of the city, the deer. We even tried feeding them, but that ended up being a little bit harder than expected. Nonetheless, it was nice seeing them around. After leaving Nara, we chose to make one stop before heading towards Yagyu. We decided to stop by a local indoor market that sold local produce and goods to see what we could find. After buying some food for ourselves, we finally headed off to our destination, Yagyu. Along the way, we stopped at Enjoji Temple to enjoy the fall leaves. After all that travel, we were extremely hungry. Luckily, we were able to enter the home of a local, Kuroda-san, who helped us prepare rice and tonjiru for lunch. Unfortunately, we weren't the best at cooking. Next, we followed Kuroda-san into a small shed, which housed two traditional Japanese stoves. Using tinder and wood, we learned how to light a fire to keep the stove burning. And finally, it was time to eat. And even despite our horrible cutting skills, the food turned out delicious. Now extremely full, we said goodbye to Kuroda-san and continued to make our way around Yagyu. Our first stop of the day was Itto-seki, a boulder made famous for appearing in the anime series turned movie, Kimetsu no Yaiba. Some of us were fans of the franchise, so we took some time to take a few pictures. The next spot on our list was the former residence of the Yagyu clan's retainer. The Yagyu clan, of which the town is named after, was a powerful family in old Japan from the local area. The museum gave information on the clan's family lineage, as well as on the various films that have been set in Yagyu. When we left, the sun was beginning to set, so we made our way towards a lookout spot on a nearby mountain. There we would be able to drink tea and enjoy the beautiful view of the nearby towns below. After the sunset, we headed to our accommodations for a delicious dinner. The boys in our group were treated to a fantastic meal, as were the girls. As a final way to end the night, we joined a local neighborhood barbecue to meet and chat with some of the locals. After an early wake-up and a delicious breakfast, we headed out to seize the day. Our first stop was the nearby ruins of the Yagyu clan's manor. There, we constructed a traditional structure used for tea ceremonies in old Japan. During the process, we needed to fit specific poles and joints together like puzzle pieces. We were amazed that something like this could be built using no nails at all. While we wouldn't be having tea this morning, we learned some of the etiquette involved as we planned to take part in a matcha experience later on in the day. However, before that we had many plans, starting with a short trip to the nearby Nunome Dam. Being 72 meters tall and able to hold over 17 million cubic meters of water, Nunome Dam was both impressive and gorgeous. After visiting the dam, we made our way towards a local farm where we planned to pick mushrooms for our lunch. We also tried to pluck some yuzu from a tall tree for later as well. After collecting everything we could find, we headed to the farm's fermentation lab where they produce different fermented goods such as miso, umeboshi, and even kimchi. We helped in one process by first dipping our hand in a yuzu mash before moving our hand to another larger pot where we mixed around a bunch of ume, or Japanese plums.
I'm gonna get what's it called? Frostbite.
With cold hands and empty stomachs, we made our way to the nearby Italian restaurant, Atelier La Zucca. Here we had the opportunity to make our own pizza, starting by kneading the dough. After kneading the dough to our desired shape, we also put tomato sauce and our preferred toppings on top, including the mushrooms we picked earlier. Next, one by one, we cooked our pizzas in the in-house wood fire oven until they were hot and ready to be eaten. Now full, we headed towards our final destination in Yagyu, Hotokuzen Temple, where the matcha experience was to be held. However, as we arrived a bit early, we took a quick tour around the temple. We also had the opportunity to visit the grave of Yagyu Jubei, one of Japan's most famous samurai. Soon enough, however, it was time for the matcha experience to begin. To finish off our trip to Yagyu, we decided to reflect on our experiences by meditating in the dojo nearby. We tried a style of meditation called zazen, where we have to sit completely still and silent, otherwise we are hit by the monk watching over us. While we didn't end up getting hit, the silence allowed for me to look back on the past couple of days. While we didn't travel anywhere foreign or far from home, there was no shortage of things to do, sights to see, and food to eat. It goes to show that you don't need to visit every famous monument to have a fulfilling travel experience. Just a car and a few good friends. All in all, visiting Yagyu was a very special experience, and not one I will soon forget.